Sometimes I love my friends, sometimes I hate them, and that's okay, everybody. But here's one of the times where I fucking hated my friend. So I'm not gonna name her right now. We're gonna call her Potassium, okay? So Potassium is a bass player, okay? I'm not trying to shit on her or anything. She's a very good friend of mine. But this story includes her dissing on me, which kind of annoys me. So, not all families can afford a nice violin, a nice instrument, because they're expensive, okay? So, I can't afford a nice instrument. I can only afford one. Numero uno, none of that. Now, she plays bass, the big ass instrument, the big ass stringed instrument. Well, she needs another one at home because it's hard to transport the school one back to her house. So she just has an extra one. And luckily, it seems like her family can afford two. So she keeps one at the school, which I think is a school one, and she keeps one at home. Okay? Simple as that. All right? So I had to leave my violin at school because my teacher, he told the whole class like, "Hey, we don't want you guys to forget your instruments, so just leave them at home." And I'm like, "Okay then." So, I didn't have an extra violin, okay? I don't have any of that. Like I said, not well off. And then she goes to call me while I'm eating. I just got ready for the concert. I'm in my uniform looking all preppy and shit. She goes to call me and she says, "Hey, you practicing your songs and stuff?" And I'm like, "Well, I can't." And she's like, "Why?" "Cuz I don't have my violin." And she's like, "Well, don't you have an extra one?" No. And then she's all like, "Well, you kind of need an extra one if you're going to practice. You have to practice before a concert." "Well, I don't have an extra violin." And then she goes, "Well, I always have an extra bass at home so I can practice." After that, I just can't say anything because how how unaware do you have to be to just say like, "Oh, I always have an extra bass at home to practice. You don't have an extra violin?" No, I don't, cuz not all of our families can afford an extra violin, okay? This shit's expensive, okay? So if you're watching this, honey, I'd like an apology. That was very insensitive. I'm still kind of fucking mad about it, okay? How insensitive do you have to be? Jesus Christ.